Have you ever felt like the more notes you take, the less you actually seem to remember? Yeah? It's a super common problem. Well, today, we're going to dive into something called mind mapping. It's this amazing tool that promises to unlock your brain's natural genius, because it works with your brain, not against it. I mean, listen to this quote from Tony Buzan, the guy who actually invented the mind map. "The more notes I took, the worse I seemed to do. I became more and more perfectly stupid." Wow. I think we can all relate to that feeling, right? He realized his old school linear notes weren't just useless, they were actually making him, as he put it, perfectly stupid. So let's figure out why. All right, so let's picture this. It's the 1960s. A young university student named Tony Buzan walks into the library and he asks for something that sounds pretty simple, a book on how to use his brain. Not how to do surgery on it, but how to use it. And you know what the librarian told him? Sorry, no such books exist. Can you believe that? That huge, massive gap in the library was actually the start of everything. So Buzan started thinking, and he realized the problem wasn't his brain, it was his method. Think about traditional notes. They're just, well, they're lists of words, right? Usually in one color, all marching down a straight line. He said that this was basically training himself to be perfectly bad. And that makes so much sense. If you keep practicing something the wrong way, you just get really, really good at being bad at it. And that brings us to this absolutely crucial question, the one that sparked a total revolution in thinking. If our brains don't think in straight lines, why on earth are we forcing our notes to be that way? Our thoughts jump all over the place, they connect, they radiate out, so why do we trap them in these rigid, linear cages on a page? Okay, so this is where we get to the big aha moment. Since the library had no books on how to use the brain, Buzan realized he had to look somewhere else. He needed to find the answer not in a book, but in biology. Yeah, he figured the brain's instruction manual had to be, well, inside the brain itself. It was right there all along. So he just dove headfirst into neurophysiology to understand how this incredible machine is actually wired to work. And what he found was just mind-blowing. Our brains have at least, wait for it, 100 billion brain cells, neurons. I mean, just try to wrap your head around that number. It gives you a sense of the absolutely immense, untapped power that's sitting inside all of our heads. But here's the real breakthrough. Look at what a neuron actually looks like. You see that? It's got a center, and then all these little branches. They're just radiating outwards, kind of like a tree. Buzan looked at this and realized, this isn't just some random biological shape. This is the blueprint for how we think. Our brains are literally designed to think in these radiating associative patterns, not in boring straight lines. So Buzan gave this a name, radiant thinking. It's exactly what it sounds like. It's the brain's natural way of working. You start with a central idea, a core concept, and then you let all your thoughts and associations just radiate out from there. And the mind map? Well, that's just the physical, visual version of this totally natural internal process. Okay, so how do we actually do this? How do we put radiant thinking into practice? Well, that's where the mind map comes in. And let me tell you, it is the ultimate thinking tool. And when you compare it to old school notes, the difference is just, it's night and day. On one side, you've got your standard linear, single color, word-heavy lists. And on the other, you've got this vibrant, colorful, imaginative diagram that uses pictures and associations. You know, one method basically puts your brain in a box. The other one sets it completely free. Now, I know when you hear the word rules, you might think, ugh, restrictions, but that's not it at all. Think of these rules more like a trellis for a climbing plant. The trellis doesn't stop the plant from growing, right? It just gives it a structure to climb on, to guide it so it can really flourish. That's exactly what these laws do for your thinking. So let's break it down. We can boil all the official laws down to 4 super simple, really memorable principles. Okay, number 1, start in the center with an image, not just a word. 2, radiate your main ideas out from that center on these thick, flowing branches. 3, and this one is so important, use only one keyword per branch. And finally, number 4, make it pop. Use lots of color and symbols all over your map. So why do these simple rules work so well? Well, that central image, it grabs your brain's attention way better than a boring old word ever could. And those curvy, flowing branches, they're just more organic, easier for your eyes and brain to follow than stiff, straight lines. Now that one keyword per branch rule, That's the secret sauce. It unlocks your brain's freedom, it triggers all these new associations. And the color and pictures, that's not just for fun. It fires up your whole brain, both the logical and creative sides, and it seriously boosts your memory. All right, so now we know what a mind map is and the basic rules for making one. But the big question is, what can you actually do with it? The answer is pretty much anything you can think of. I mean, just think about how versatile this tool really is. We're talking about using it in every major part of your life. At home, at work, for your education, to spark creativity. You can even use it to improve your memory and your overall well-being. Let's dig into a couple of examples. Okay, so at home, you could use a mind map to plan out your entire week, or maybe map out all the steps to finally achieving a big personal goal, like running a marathon. It's an amazing way to get all those jumbled thoughts out of your head and see everything clearly. And in a professional setting, it's a total game changer. You can manage super complex projects, you can brainstorm new ideas with your team, or you can take a really intimidating task, like writing the annual report, and break it down into these small, manageable, even creative parts. And this brings us right back to where we started, for students and for anyone who loves learning. Mind maps are absolutely perfect for taking notes in a lecture, for planning out an essay, or for studying for a big exam. You'll find you remember so much more, so much faster, because you're finally working with your brain's natural learning style. So, here's the thing to remember. Mind mapping isn't just another note-taking trick. It is a fundamental shift in how you organize your thoughts and how you interact with information, period. I love this story about Dr. Dileep Abhyasekara. As a scientist, he used mind maps for all his complex data analysis. But then, he completely switched careers and became a communications trainer. And guess what? He found the exact same tool helped him write better speeches and think more clearly on his feet. The tool just adapted with him, because at its core, it's all about making you a better thinker. And this quote just sums it all up perfectly. Your brain is a sleeping giant, and mind map mastery is here to help wake it up. A mind map doesn't give you a new brain. It's the key that unlocks the incredible power of the one you've already got. The process is simple. You don't need any fancy tools, and the potential is literally limitless. So the only real question left is, are you ready to wake up your sleeping giant?
Please do subscribe.